The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good Wednesday morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN. Thanks so much for kicking off your trading day right here with me on the Morning Market Kickoff. We got about 25 minutes to go until the start of trading, and we have markets in positive territory. Crude, a little bit of a lift as you got a blockade on Venezuelan crude, but nonetheless, we got markets. S&P's up by about 20 points, or 0.25% in the green. We zoom in on the 5-minute action. A little bit of volatility yesterday. You close out the session with a trade higher, and we were right back to where we were as of the open, and it was quite a charge. Yesterday, middle of the day, you were pushing 68.20. We're now right now 68.75 in the S&Ps, and you take a look at the daily. Okay, we're about 70 points away from all-time highs, and checking out the volume on the S&Ps right now. We had some action yesterday, but not breaking above the lows of last week. In terms of the lows in the S&P, that was 68.05. We hit a low yesterday of 68.17. You had lighter volume, and today we're bouncing. We'll see how the volume comes in. NASDAQ 100, we're up by 87 points right now. On the volume basis, we dipped slightly below last week's lows yesterday. We come back, and we're trading higher by about 0.3%. NASDAQ 100 up by 83 points. You jump over to the Dow, up by 0.25% right now. And how about the Dow, man? On a daily basis, it's a nice uptrend channel. We'll extend that one to the right. And we're trading right now up by 0.25%, up 120 points, 48,600. We're only about 500 points away from all-time highs in the Dow. So you're 1% away from all-time highs in the S&P, 1% in the Dow, and then on the NASDAQ 100, what are we talking about here? Almost 1,000 points. So that's approaching almost 3 to 4% in the NASDAQ 100. You take a look at the Russell, and the Russell about 2% from all-time highs. We jump over to crude. So this story is going to get some attention, rightfully so, today. You have crude up 81 pennies to 55.94 right now. And yeah, we got a blockade of sanctioned oil tankers in Venezuela. So by targeting that oil, Trump's putting the pressure on the Venezuelan economy. And guess what? Less crude in the market is going to mean higher prices for the crude that exists. You drive down to 54.94 yesterday. We were just briefly at about 56.50, and we're trading right now up 81 pennies. You take a look at the daily, though. Lower lows, lower highs in this market. We'll see if we can find a bid on this deal, but realistically, I mean, think about it, right? We have a blockade on Venezuelan crude, and you still can't get above $56 in the price of light sweet crude. Pretty remarkable. We jump over to yields. We get some Fed speak out there. Mr. Waller talking about Fed independence as he's in the running. You get the 10-year negative by 3 ticks. The 10-year yield about 4.16, and the dollar in focus, and that was quite a bid yesterday. Put it back to a 10-minute or 5-minute chart. And yeah, almost a full point from where we were at yesterday's lows to the overnight highs. We're backing off a bit. The dollar's up almost 28 pennies at 98.42 right now. And even with a stronger dollar, just you can't hold down gold, man. Gold up by a full percentage, and silver, just don't stop, man. Check this out. Look at the run. All right, last night, silver makes a run. At about 8 o'clock, it starts. You drive higher to 66, 65, 666, silver. Gonna open higher. We jump around to some of those silver stocks. First, Majestic. Gonna open up about 60 pennies to 17.02. You jump over to Hecla. Trading at almost $20, 19.75 in the pre-market. You jump over to Pan American, PAAS is their symbol, 51.22. Remarkable strength. So we talk a little bit of crude. And so you'll get a speech by Trump 9 o'clock tonight in the Oval Office. Not sure this is going to get talked about. It may get referenced. But nonetheless, we got a blockade of sanctioned oil tankers going into and leaving Venezuela, so the pressure is on. And yeah, they're going to try and put the pressure on Venezuela and see if they can get that leader out of there. So crude output has slumped about 70% through more than 25 years of socialist rule. Less than 1 million barrels a day is what the number is. They got so much oil, man. Hopefully that country and the people can get it together. So Maduro's been designated as a foreign terrorist organization. And yeah, we've already seized one tanker. And then, of course, the targeting of the small boats on there tied in as well. Now, how low can crude go, man? I'm not sure. But pretty remarkable that we're pushing $56 right now. You can't even get a bid when you get this type of action going on, right? We're about to start a war with Venezuela. We got a blockade going on their crude. They got a lot of crude. Market doesn't care, man. It cares a bit, okay? It cares enough to push this market from 55 to 56. My goodness. Maybe you get a little bit of a bounce here, okay? Maybe you come up and you even test $60. But pressure right now is to the downside on that crude market dramatically. All right, we continue talking about Warner Brothers Discovery. So quite the saga overnight. You have, number one, the Warner Brothers board advising to vote down the Paramount Skydance deal and vote for the Netflix deal. And you also have Kushner, I guess, choosing his battles and realizing that this one was probably not lucrative enough for the headlines that it was getting, as he takes himself out of the equity portion of the backing deal for Paramount Skydance. So it's kind of a 1-2 punch, right? Now, I imagine that Ellison can find the equity if he wants it, folks, okay? Do you remember the conversations that took place between Elon and Ellison when it was talking about Twitter, right? He's like, I don't know, I was thinking $1 billion, maybe $2 billion. Yeah, sounds great. He'd be able to find the money if he wants. He doesn't need to go to the president's son-in-law. But then you get to the more important one, which is Warner Brothers, okay? Tell shareholders the Netflix deal is superior. It's not a hard choice. Well, he's not going to say it's a hard choice, okay? Because he wants to be decisive and he wants to get whatever deal he wants to get. He's going to say it's clear, and it may be clear. The $30 a share all-cash offer for Paramount, it doesn't include the cable networks. Excuse me, it does include the cable networks, but the $27.75 deal from Netflix does not include the cable networks, and the cable networks are probably worth more than the difference, and it's probably just that simple. Now, the fact that there's a stock deal in there as well, anytime you're taking stock, right, if they're taking Netflix stock and Netflix stock is pulling back as you're taking it, it actually decreases the value of that buyout. Despite their own ample resources, as well as multiple assurances by Skydance during our strategic review process, the Ellison family has chosen not to backstop the Sky offer, the board said in a letter to shareholders. We were not confident that one of the richest people in the world would be there at closing. Doing a deal is great, closing a deal is better. They're worried about getting it closed, and they're putting their faith in Netflix. Netflix, up $1. We're coming right back, folks.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This portion of the Morning Market Kickoff is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome back, folks. S&P's up by about 0.2% right now. Jumping back to that Netflix for one more quick second. So Netflix trading at $96.15 right now, up in the pre-market from about $94.50 on the close of yesterday. You jump over to Warner Brothers, and actually not good news, as they don't want the fight to end, right? It'd be great if Netflix and Paramount Skydance just kept fighting for Warner Brothers and driving up the price. Doesn't seem to be what's happening. Paramount a little bit in the red, down by about 30 pennies. Now, what's interesting here, jumping back to this article real quick, this one's from Bloomberg, talking about Ellison and whether he's actually putting up the wealth and backstopping the deal, and he is not backstopping the deal, okay? And oh, I just had it, forgive me. Because they talked about it's a revocable trust that's actually in here. Okay, here we go. Warner Brothers flagged risks in the Paramount offer, including Ellison family's failure to adequately backstop their $40.7 billion equity commitment. The equity is supported by a quote-unquote an unknown and opaque revocable trust, the board said in a letter to shareholders Wednesday. The documents Paramount provided contain gaps, loopholes, and limitations that put you, our shareholders, and our company at risk. Now, if you think about it, right? Unless there's something adequately backstopping this, Paramount itself, okay, this is like a $100 billion bid, right? Paramount itself right now, the entire company, okay, Ellison just got for $7 billion, the Sun. I think right now we're pushing like $13 billion. It's going to take a second to load. The point being that, yeah, you can't really go after it. It's not like you're a company like Netflix that is worth $400, billion that you can sue that company and be made whole. If the only thing backstopping it is actually Paramount, and it goes much deeper. All right, so Paramount's pushing $15 billion at the price that it's at right now. But you can see the breakup fee for Netflix alone is pushing almost $6 billion, right? They're doing a deal with Paramount Skydance, and the equity portion is just backstopped by a revocable trust. And I would guess, knowing, you don't become the richest person in the world, even if it's for a brief period of time, by not understanding the contractual obligations that you are entering into. And if that offer leaves loopholes, if it leaves limitations, and it contains gaps, maybe Warner Brothers is right to point those out. Yeah, the pot stocks are flying. So like anything else, we're going to get an executive order, right? It's all it takes these days. We're going to get an executive order. Listen, any president should have done it, man. Biden should have done it. Obama should have done it. In terms of taking marijuana off Schedule 1. So Trump's going to do it. And yeah, Tilray over here. What I will say, folks, is, this whole industry, the ebb and flow. Look at this chart. Okay, now we're not going back to the days of 2018. We're not going back to the days of 2021 even. All right? At these prices, you had Tilray pushing $600. We're at $13.94. You were as low as about $3. But there's the acceleration from 7 to 14. Very difficult to make a lot of money in that market no matter what, folks, okay? It should be eliminated from Schedule 1 no matter what. I mean, Schedule 1, the good thing about this is that by taking it off of Schedule 1 alone, it will allow for more funding for research to actually see what the potential medicinal, all that stuff. Nonetheless, you get Tilray. You're up at $14.40. Be careful of these pot stocks, folks, okay? The rally's in. We just doubled in share price. And no matter what, even if it gets legal, the competition has driven down prices dramatically. Whether you're talking about medicinal, whether you're talking about recreational, they have medicinal in Florida, Massachusetts, they got medicinal and recreational. But if you ever take what the cost of cannabis was, 20, 30 years ago when I was in college, and then you look at what the cost is now, right? What's amazing is do this, okay? And you probably do this if you're in the 70s. I only know it if I'm looking at, college, in terms of what you were paying for pot in college 30 years ago, okay, 25 years ago, and then what the dollar was worth back then. If the price of pot was ever the same as what it is right now with where inflation is, people will be paying, they'd be floored by the amount of money that people used to spend on pot. Point being, it's cheaper than ever at many of these, and it's going to be difficult for these companies. Now, where they do make a lot of money is in the processing, and in whether it's edibles, right? Whether it's in just processed, it's not the flowers themselves, okay? Because that's a race to the bottom for profits. It's a commodity, and it's a commodity that is being produced at such mass scales that the price keeps dropping. But you talk about the margins that they're making on some of those other products, whether it's talking about edibles, everything. I don't even know what, but that's where you get much higher margins. But man, a lot already in this. You got that jump from, what day was that? Thursday to Friday. So be careful of these. Probably a story of buy the rumor, sell the news. 75 pennies, huh? Callium? Not bad, 75 pennies. I remember in college, it was like 1/8 a pot. Could get you like $50, $60. And that was in $2,000, folks. $2,000. And that was my friends. That was me. That was my friends. That's what I heard. I joke, right? But yeah, just staggering. And so this is not just a recipe to cash the checks. That's how people thought it was going to be in the beginning. And that's not what's happened, folks. It's not. Prices have come down dramatically. Competition And yeah, but nonetheless, they're rocking today. All right, we check out some of the crude stocks. Slightly in the green with crude trending to higher prices. You got Exxon. Look at these equities though, man. You know, crude is not saved by this embargo just yet, folks. You got Exxon. They're going to be higher by about $1 right now. I mean, Exxon handling the price action pretty well. You know, you look at this equity and I tell you the crude's pushing $55 a barrel. You said, man, I'll take that. You got Exxon pushing $120 a share. Jump over to Chevron. Look at these equities, man. Back to a short-term time frame. Chevron up to 148 right now. We jump over to crude. Look at this. Back under 56 bucks. 55.94. Just holding where we kicked off the program. Crude up by 80 pennies. All right, folks, stay tuned. We got markets in the green. S&P's up by 14. We're coming back for the opening bell. Don't go away.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Kickstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Kickstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. We got equities open. You got a NASDAQ up by about 0.1%. A little bit of selling coming into the opening bell there. We had some volatility around 8 o'clock. You got markets barely in the green, but we're giving it up a bit. S&P's up by 4 points, trading at 68.59. Dow up by 45 points, just 0.1%. NASDAQ barely in the green as well. And the Russell, we'll see where we go today. Bitcoin up $150, $87,945. And let's jump to Tesla. Tesla shares, record highs yesterday to 490. We're trading right now, up another 0.6%. You jump over to the Analyze tab for Tesla. In terms of market cap, $1.6 trillion. $1.6 trillion. Now, what's remarkable is you jump over to Google, and Google is a $3.7 trillion company, okay? Google's got Waymo, man, okay? And if you think this is really coming to fruition, then I'd encourage you to take a look at Google as well. Now, there's nothing like the fan base and the meme mania, or call it whatever you want, in terms of when they start buying Tesla, okay? But if self-driving is really propelling these equities to this type of valuation, then Google's undervalued, period. End of sentence. That's it. Now, Tesla's been overvalued to many for some time, but yeah, you're talking about $1.7 trillion, and basically they're not a car company. They're a robotaxi company with robots coming down the line. Nonetheless. Now, what I encourage you to take a look at, though, look at this selling that we got. This is a weekly chart. November 3rd, November 10th, November 17th. We trade lower with 471, 420, 468. Now, we might get some volume this week, okay, because we've already done 228 million shares. It's only the beginning of Wednesday, but the last 3 weeks when we've bounced, 268, that was a holiday week, 346 in a full week, and 346 in a full week. But this is the week that matters because we're breaking above the highs. So you're going to look for a volume number about 500 million on a weekly basis. You break down the daily. Do about 109 million back there in November. You had highs out here of about 84 million. And you break above it on 115. Decent numbers yesterday as well. So we got nice numbers on this break for Tesla right now. On a weekly basis, a little bit of a slowdown. Something to pay attention to. Crude trading at 55.95. We jump over the dollar right now. A little bit of a pop to 98.54. We check back in on gold. Backing off a bit, but gold up by $32. And yeah, silver, just don't stop, man. Now, we just pulled back $1 from those highs on silver. Look at this. Woo! Got some selling there. Look at that. Hey, you want to see some volatility? There you go, man. Somebody taking the opportunity to sell silver above $66. Checking on some of the silver stocks. First Majestic up by 2.2%. All of them been on a tear. Hecla up by 2.2. Pan American, PAAS, up by 1.3. Check in on some high-flying equities, volatile. Palantir, down about 0.5% to kick it off. You jump over to Robinhood, up 1.5%. You jump over to GM, down 0.8%. All right, coming up next, folks, we got our man Basil Chapman with the opening call at 10 o'clock. And if you didn't check it out already, folks, Basil did an outstanding webinar last night for opening call subscribers. Now, this webinar is archived, okay? You can check it out on the front page of TFNN. It was a full 90 minutes. Basil's an outstanding educator, folks. The outlook for 2026 and what looks good going into the new year. Now, what I encourage you to do is check out the Tiger Dollar sale. This sale, it runs this week only, folks. It's going to run through Monday. You can get up to a 40% bonus on whatever you spend, okay? There's 3 different purchase options. You spend $500, you get $600 Tiger Dollars, 100 bonus. You spend $1,000. You get $1,300 Tiger Dollars, a $300 bonus. You spend $1,500, you get $2,100 Tiger Dollars, a $600 bonus, or 40%. We'll send you a mug as well. And then what you do is you take them and you apply them to whatever newsletter you'd like. And yeah, so check out Basil's newsletter, folks. Great webinar. And if you sign up, you still gain access to that archive webinar. You get a little time over the holidays. Dig into that 90-minute webinar. And it was a great education from Basil. Appreciate everybody, opening call subscribers, coming out as well. All right, let's jump around to the big dogs. So NVIDIA, you know why they're lower? Because they got some competition. From who? Amazon. Yeah, so Amazon. How about an equity investment in OpenAI, okay, to the tune of $10 billion. And OpenAI is going to be buying Amazon chips. How about that? Right? There's the acceleration in the pre-market. Amazon up by 1.1% right now. Been under pressure lately. Take a look at the volume on Amazon from 258 down to 220. I mean, you got markets within 1% of highs right now. And meanwhile, Amazon is a solid almost 14% off its highs that we were at basically 6 weeks ago. And we'll see how the volume comes in, but a little bit of a lift today with Amazon. And that would value OpenAI at about $500 billion. Pull that story over. For some reason it's glitching. It's glitching on me. That's all right. We'll pull it over. But yeah, $10 billion OpenAI move. So the OpenAI is always going to be raising billions. This time they're getting it from Amazon, and that's going to have to do with Amazon chips. So it's still very fluid, as they put it. And yeah, OpenAI, they're trying to diversify. They don't want to be beholden to anybody, right? They want everybody to be building out the infrastructure they need and the electrons they need as well. Not stopping for Oracle just yet. Oracle down another 2.7%. Yeah, that news hitting them. It's hitting NVIDIA this morning. And you know what happens here, okay? I was looking at this morning. So you got Oracle down $5, okay? Whoops, jump over to Oracle. Get the fundamentals. So Oracle's down $5. The point that I'm going to make here is that, you know, you got Amazon with a 1% lift, but that does not offset the destruction going on with Oracle and NVIDIA. So they've got about 3 billion shares. So what's that hit? That takes a $15 billion hit off Oracle. Okay, $528 billion company right now. You're down $5. They got almost 3 billion shares. That's a $15 billion hit to market cap. NVIDIA is down $3.50. They have about 25 billion shares. Okay? So what is that? About 80 billion in market cap wiped out there. So between Oracle and NVIDIA, you lose about 100 billion in market cap. Amazon only gained 20 billion in market cap. That's 80 billion lost. We're coming back with Teddy Kegstad, folks. We'll talk some currencies. Don't go away.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direction. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direction.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at direction.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks, and we got a little selling to kick off from the opening bell. S&P's negative by 7, NASDAQ we're off by about 73 as this market chops around. And right now, folks, as we do each and every Wednesday at 40 past the hour, we're going to talk to our man Teddy Kegstad. It's a great time, folks, to check out the Tiger Forex report, whether you're talking about currencies, commodities, yields in focus coming down towards the end of the year. You can sign up for Teddy's great service, $97 a month, folks. You get a webinar in there as well. It comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, and if you got some time during the holidays, man, he's got some great webinars out here, capitalizing on time with calendar stock option spreads, as well as Japanese candlestick pattern stock and option strategies for you out there getting into options maybe. You got some time in the holidays. Check it out. Teddy Kegstad, man. You had some great calls on this crude market. How about crude? Can we kick it off with crude, man? We rang that $55 bell almost yesterday, almost to the penny. Good morning, Teddy.
Right. How about it? Yeah, you know what? We've been talking about that by Christmas we would have it, and here we are. We're 1 week early, so very nice, settling below our downside target level yesterday. Today, I think we have a nice little profit-taking rally. I could see it definitely getting a little boost over the next day or so as we see the a little bit of profit-taking. I like it. New or moved lows. I think the trend is going to in place. I think we're going to keep riding this low into the new year. Absolutely. I like it.
I was seeing outstanding calls, Teddy. Folks, check out his newsletter. You've had some amazing calls today. Crude in particular, man, remarkable. Thanks. We continue lower. I mean, I was looking at it this morning, right? And even this is myself talking, but I said, man, geez, crude, it's like even with an embargo, things going on with Venezuela, it seems like it's still struggling to find a meaningful bid. I mean, we're at 55.82 right now with everything going on in crude. I say, if you can't get above $55 and change right now, what do you think about where we go into 2026 for that crude market, Teddy?
Oh, you know what? I think that's a really good question. The first quarter, especially as we get into February and March, towards the end of the first quarter, I think we could easily be seeing oil that's treading around the upper 40s to $50 price tag. I'm not looking for any major sell-off. I don't think we're going to see a big spike sell-off. I think it's going to grind the way it's been going the past month and a half. It's going to be if you're a bear, you just have to have patience. If anything, or you would look at like today. If you see crude get back up to say like 57, 58, I think you're looking into a nice little corrective sell area there where you can ride that back down into new lows.
Nice.
That's the kind of trade I would look for.
Yeah.
Unless you're a long-term bear. So option strategies, I'd be very, very careful because you're not going to have a lot of price movement. You're going to be killing a lot of time with very little price movement. So there are strategies you can use for that, and I would play those kind of strategies if you're going to use any options in the crude oil market.
And if you want some more of that, folks, Teddy's webinars in there, both tie in options. Check them out during the holidays. 2 great webinars that tie in some of those option plays that you can combine into your trading repertoire. Hey, how about the dollar, Teddy? We hit a 97 handle yesterday. That was the lowest we had seen in almost 10 weeks on the dollar. Of course, the Fed in focus. We're getting a little bit of a bid today. What do you think about the dollar index? 98.38 I got it at right now.
I think like right now you're going to see, it's kind of like a little uptick in the dollar just because it's profit taking, I think. We've been grinding lower. I think that's what you're going to see today, maybe into tomorrow. As far as being a bid with the dollar, I'd be very cautious with that. You can see that with most of the currencies, you're seeing, you're seeing a little bit of a bid in the dollar versus the major currency crosses, especially in the yen. Of course, with the yen, you also have a little bit of a rally in crude. So I think that's probably why you see the U.S. dollar yen up a little bit more than you see like the euro and the pound. And it's a really good question about the dollar index because as far as where it's going now, because the major currencies, what kind of expectation do we have there? Let's be realistic. If you're going to see a big move in the dollar, is it going to come from, some of your lesser currencies that are actually moving, or is it going to be something like the euro or the pound? So I would say with the euro, we had an interesting spike yesterday. Okay, so the high of yesterday is very critical. We came off it very sharply, and then we pulled back today. We're basically flat on the past 2 trading days. So that tells me that we have a lot of indecision, and we're heading into holiday markets. Now, today's Wednesday. Next week from now, it's Christmas Eve. So except for the numbers that come out, like I think unemployment claims are big tomorrow, you're going to see next week in some of the other currencies, there's some medium style numbers that could have cause a little jitters here or there during certain periods when they come out. But I don't think you're going to see any major trend moves now really happening over the next 2 weeks. So I'd be very careful with it. So the dollar index, I think it's going to be reflectionary off the numbers, but on any given point during the day, I wouldn't use it as much of a barometer because I think you're going to see a lot of inactivity in some of your major currency crosses, if that makes any sense. Like we might have some activity, like I think the Aussie and the New Zealand, there's a trade there, even with the Canada, I think, especially as we come to quarter end, because they've had some nice swings, especially over the past couple of weeks. I think that the trade in the euro and the pound especially is pretty much done for the year. I think you're only going to see, like I said, reactions off of, say, like unemployment claims and stuff like that, unless we get a major move in yields. But I don't see a major move in yields coming for the next 2 weeks.
And that was going to be my next point I jumped to in terms of yields. We get a Fed, of course. We get a cut. But we got the 10-year, maybe, 4.15, 4.2 we're pushing, 4.18 I think we're at right now. What do you think about today? So we go for the Fed, right? All the talk who's going to be in the next chair, of course. They're going to be in there in May. So we got 3 meetings with Powell next year. Mm-hmm. And then that new Fed chair, whoever it is, they're going to get 5 meetings by the end of 2026. The 2-year right now is pushing almost 3.5%, and the 10-year, though, is still at like 4.2 almost. I mean, we have some steepening. Mm-hmm. Do you look at that at all when you're looking at the dollar? How do you look at yields right now coming into 2026 as you got the 2-year, of course, easing a bit, but the longer term, not quite there yet? Do you see how do you think about that kind of relationship?
Yeah, I think actually that's another great question. I think you're going to see a little bit more action in the smaller end of the yield curve than you will in the longer end of the curve. The expectations, after this last cut, those were all factored in. And now we have the fact that Powell actually possibly may do a quarter point before he leaves. We were worried. We weren't sure that he was going to cut, just last week, So that's an interesting tone, if you will. I don't know if it's smoke and mirrors or not. But the fact that the market right now is looking for potentially a quarter point with him still, and at least we were talking about this last week that they've downgraded from a full percent to 0.5% in 2026. Yeah. So I think that the short end of the curve is where you're going to see a lot more action, especially if we're trying to drive yields lower. The longer end of the curve, I don't think you're going to see too much action until we get closer to. I'll tell you what, if it really looks like at the next Fed meeting or 2 Fed meetings from now that it looks like they're going to cut with Powell still, If that somehow verbiage comes into play, especially from him, then I could see you can start to get some movement, especially in the 10-year. And once the 10-year starts to pop, then the 30-year will probably start to push them all along.
And we'll see. I mean, that jobs data, it almost gave him a little room. We'll see. As you say, smoke and mirrors, we'll find out. Teddy, great information as always, man.
Thanks, Tommy.
And we look forward to talking to you next Wednesday, maybe on Christmas Eve. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Right.
Folks, check out the Tiger Forex Report. Thanks, Teddy. We'll talk to you next week, man.
Take care.
Take care.
Tend to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks, and we got markets chopping around right now. Both directions. We got some selling on the opening bell, and we're near the session lows. S&P's negative by 9 right now, and yeah, at about 8 in the morning, we're 30-plus points higher in the S&P's. NASDAQ rolls over, off by 0.4% right now. Dow, the leader, up by 0.4%, and the Russell right there as well, up by 0.5%. Bitcoin catches a bid as the market sells off. How about that? Up $1,300 for Bitcoin. Crude, great conversation with Teddy as always. Chopping around at 55.91, up by 78 pennies. We jump to the dollar. 98.35, backing off a bit. Gold trading up $37. Silver up 4.20%. 65.98 for silver. We jump around to some of the tech stocks. Look at this Amazon, man. They give it back. All right, be careful. So what I was going through there, right, was you get this deal with Amazon and OpenAI. Amazon's going to invest $10 billion for equity. OpenAI is going to buy some of their chips. You say, okay, Amazon is barely in the positive. They're up by $1. Okay, and meanwhile, you got Oracle down $8. You got NVIDIA down $3.50. NVIDIA's got 25 billion shares outstanding, folks. That's an $80 billion hit on NVIDIA alone. Yeah, as in it's a negative sum, okay? It's not a break even. It's a negative sum game right now where somehow deals are getting done and it's a negative sum for the whole entire market. That's not how it's supposed to work. It's not like they're taking business and it's an equal sum, okay? A new deal gets announced and the market is worth less overall, right? Those stocks are worth less overall after that Amazon. That's not how it's supposed to work. Okay, that means they're not splitting up the same piece of the pie. And maybe the pie is a little bit inflated, for lack of a better term. All right, folks, stay tuned. We got Basil Chapman coming up next. As I mentioned, still time, all right? Head on over to the front page. You got a few minutes till Basil kicks it off at 10 a.m. Sign up for the opening call. You'll be in there watching that fantastic 90-minute webinar Basil did with subscribers later today. Folks, thanks so much for tuning in. Have a great day. Have a safe day. Stay tuned for Basil coming up next. Thanks, folks.